Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and this is another video regarding Angular. And basically today we're going to be talking about routing. Now routing is an optional feature, so when you first set up your project it asks you, did you want routing? What's routing? Well, it allows you to create like links and other URLs, so that way you can actually have like your website slash whatever, and have it, part of your single page application that you can actually say, hey, when this user types in this, goes to this URL, show these components. Cool. So basically, just to kind of walk through it, what's going to happen is that since you chose routing in the beginning, you're going to have it already set up in your modules. So see, they've already imported it. And see here in your imports, they already have the app routing module. Otherwise, you would have to go bring that stuff in. Okay, so just so you're aware, if you don't already have it in there, you would technically need to add this line and this line. No, not that line. This line. Cool. And also, it's going to end up creating this file. If not, then you have to create it yourself. This app routing.module.ts file. There we go. And basically, this brings in these libraries here, and the ng module because it's connecting to that module that we've just imported, and then the routing library. And literally, all you do is you put your routes into this little array right here. So this array is all your routes, and each route is an object. So basically, we'll create one route, okay? And the route, let me just the name of the fields in the route are right over here. And I'll go back to that. Path and component. Okay, so we'll basically go right over here. We will type in path, and we'll say slash hello world. Okay, and that's a string, so let me do that. And then component, so like what component will display when you hit that route, you put here. So in this case, we'll just put our hello world component. Okay, and let's put that as a string. Just double check, they need to be strings, I'm pretty sure. Well, not the hello world component. So cool, yeah. Here. So I can get rid of the quotation marks here. Save. That must be why it needs the ng module, so that we can refer to all the components we've already brought in. So see, we brought in the hello world component, and we've declared the hello world component globally, so it's accessible. Okay, so basically what's going to happen is when we go to slash hello world, it goes to hello world component. Now if we go to our HTML, anything that our router would show up, well, that's in the hello world component. Let's go back to the app component. Here we go. Anything that would be shown because of the router shows up between these two tags. So essentially what happens, what a lot of people do is they'll just get rid of all this and then just basically create pages in separate components, which would just get loaded into the router here. Okay, I'm not going to create another component now, so I'll just kind of illustrate this in a different way. But you can create links. So you would normally you would create a link and you'd say a href equals. You would say a href equals slash hello world. Then you'd be like, hey, I'm testing my route as a text, and you do slash a. For the most part, that's still how you do it. Okay, but you're going to type in routing link. Actually, let me double check that as well. Just want to make sure I get the wording right. Yeah, router link. Okay. And back over here. Okay, we'll come back to that. So basically where this href is would become router link. So that way it knows that it needs to refer to the router vars, which should show up when you go to this route slash hello world. So let me save that. Router outlet, and let's take a look, and then appropriately debug if needed. Okay, something's not showing up. Okay, so just a couple quick modifications. So one, where we put router link, just make sure you put make sure it's camel case, and you don't need the slash. It's just hello world. is the route, and then you want to add this on there, router link active, so that way it shows up like a link. So we want to make sure we have those two things on there. So that was all we really need on this page. You do need to import the Hello World component on the routes page. So make sure you import Hello World, the Hello World component there. Okay, and again, when you do the route, it only needs to be Hello World. It doesn't need to have a slash in it. Okay, and then the component name. So that's all fine. And with that, we should be good to go. So now what happens if we go back over here? Let me refresh the page. Actually, let me go back a page. So right now, you see here is just the root route. It's just localhost 4200. Now, if I click on this, it's going to take me to localhost 4200/hello world. And all that does is just show the Hello World component over here, because that's where the router output is. So see, whatever is going to show up down here is going to be based on whatever the routes say. That's the function of this router outlet component. Okay, anything that the route tells it to put in there, it's going to put in there. Okay, so then technically what you could do, actually let me get rid of everything but this. For just for a second. So now what you could do is you could like have a navigation here on that app component, and then basically show a different component down here as your full page, depending on which one they click. So you can create sort of, and that's what we mean by single page application. It feels like a bunch of different websites. It feels like you created like a bunch of different HTML pages, but really they're all components of this one big JavaScript application. And you're just routing to the different components, but the user is not making a separate request to the server. They're not re-downloading another page. The page is already on their computer. So it's the same experience, but faster and less burdensome on your server. That's the benefit of using like Angular, React, Vue, things like that. So that is routing. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Ciao.